because I think hands that are free of brown spots are so beautiful. And sometimes we neglect these. Sometimes you're embarrassed that you have brown spots on your hands, yet your face looks great because you take such good care of it. But we neglect our hands. And even as skincare practitioners, we neglect the hands of our clients. So I'm here today to let you see what you can do in order to have those hands free of brown spots so that you can get them out in the world and never be embarrassed again. So, hey, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Stephanie Halvick. I'm a registered nurse, owner of RN Faces, the Skin Classic, and my little med spa in Cape Charles, Virginia. So, if you can notice from my background here, I'm in cactus country. I'm in Arizona until mid-February. So I'll be broadcasting from the hills of Tucson, Arizona. And so my time zone is a little different. So I think that's probably why I started at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. Hey, if you are tuning in, would you please let me know where you're watching from? Emilia, I see you in Miami, and I'm going to see you at NASN Pro, I think. I think you got your ticket. I'm super excited about that. And Brenda and Kim, wow, very cool, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I don't know if you saw a little earlier, I was pre-treating my hand with this micro tip that I carry in my store. It's a great microdermabrasion tool without suction, yet it goes on the handle of the universal hand pieces. So it comes off, and the heads come 3 to a set. They're like a medium grade, which I love these things. And I'm going to give away a set of these today. So just stay tuned and we'll see who will win a set of these. They run $89 in our store. So I'm here in Arizona, and for you practitioners, my clients that are watching, Arizona, one of the places that actually clients with our type of skin would get lots of brown spots, lots of age spots. So I'm going to show you different ways that you can treat hands, but my most favorite way, and you all know what that is, I'll be showing you that. And I have a couple little brown spots. It's really, I don't have many, but I'll do the treatment right here so you can see. But I also have great video of the procedure being done for those providers out there that need a little refresher. We're going to talk about everything like the consultation, the aftercare, all of that. So let me get, hey, Susan. And Susan, thank you for hosting those young ladies yesterday to look at your Skin Classic. I just think that's awesome when fellow estheticians get together and share ideas or what works for them. So I really appreciate that. Big shout out for you to do that. Yes, Bethany, you're right across town. I know. Okay, so let me get this started here. And what I'm going to do is shrink myself down, and I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, good. And so anytime you have a question, please feel free, throw it in the comments. And if you stay with me, we'll be able to give one of these away. And if you want the slideshow with the marketing video and the treatment videos, go ahead in the comments, hands, HANDS, and we'll get that over to you after the broadcast. And if you have to pop out, it's going to be available in replay, but you're going to need to comment in order to get there. So let me move along here. And okay, so just a little housekeeping. We're going to go to Florida next Sunday, the 23rd. Let's just see if I could get this bad boy to play for a second here. So for those of you that are going to NASN Pro the 23rd in Boynton Beach, I will be there. Bring your brown spots. I'll be doing demos all day. And of course, I always do them free. So if you get to the event, make sure you dash over to my table like an Olympic athlete and get your free treatment. So I'll be doing that all day. I'll also have the Illuminate LED with me, and that will promote any healing that you may need at my table too. So that's always a fun thing to do. So let me move along here. And I don't know if you remember this, but I always loved this game. And I just like to remind people that the Skin Classic is hands down the very best treatment for hands. And I'll show you why. And let me just make sure.
But look out for the blood.
Okay, so I want to get right to this little bit of marketing so that you'll be able to get this. If you get the slideshow, this is a YouTube link that you can just download or upload to your Facebook, you can embed it onto your website, whatever you like to do. But remember, it's super important for the clients to see what they can imagine they may look like. So if you are one of the providers out there that does not have a before and after book, you should seriously think about investing in one. They're $89 in my store. They're back ordered right now, but if you go ahead and order, we'll get them to you as soon as we can. I don't know what's up with the publisher, but everything is back ordered. They're really slow about it, so I'm not sure why. But they need to really see before and after. So let me play this for you, and imagine if you had this on your website. So you can see that something like that is an attention getter, and that's how you want to market your Skin Classic. You want to have those before and afters, even a little bit of the treatment, what it looks like, because clients will probably, if they're interested, give you a call quicker or message you or book online. So it's very important to get those things under your belt. And hey, everybody's tuning in. Thanks, everybody. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Terrific, terrific. Okay, so let me move along here. So I want to show you some other ways that you can get brown out of the skin. And of course they do work, but I think they take more time and more investment in your clients, aftercare and all of that. So peels can be a great way to relieve the brown out of the skin. There's no doubt about it, but it's not my number one choice. But for some of you out there, you may do peels for your clients on their hands. If you're peeling their face, please peel their hands. Whatever you're doing to the face, it really makes sense to do it to the hands. Microdermabrasion, whatever your procedure is, the hands really do a better service after you've done the same thing to the face. So definitely you want to do that. Sometimes, yeah, the chemical peels are good. Also, this client was lasered, and we used to have a 1064 laser in our office, and it didn't relieve the brown as quickly. It took about 3 treatments. We always scheduled them 1 month apart for 3 months, no matter what. So economically for your client, the Skin Classic is definitely hands down a much better approach, and because the treatment is less frequent. Now, I do set my client up for a second treatment if need be to clean up any brown, or maybe I missed something. But typically, one treatment is really all that's needed, but I always set them up for a two-step process. Now, with the Skin Classic, there are some contraindications, and you really need to become an expert in whatever it is you're doing. And if you're using the Skin Classic or something like it, you really need to know all of the contraindications well ahead so that you don't run into any issues with your clients. And that can certainly happen with any aesthetic procedure. So these contraindications for, say, the Skin Classic. Anytime you have a client, and we'll talk about hands today, say they have dermatitis or, some kind of rash on their hands, and they're coming to you for the brown spots, and you're not going to treat them, right? You want to treat healthy skin. So if a client comes to you, like even very dry skin, you might want to maybe do a pre-treatment, like a skin class, like a microderm, maybe exfoliate, hydrate, maybe an LED, get their skin in really good condition before you start treating it. Of course, pacemakers are a contraindication, but have your client check with the doctor or the doctor's nurse, because the current does not go through the body. It's right on top of the skin, the epidermis. But it is one of those things that we like the doctor to give the okay, because we're not grounded. There's no circuit of electricity. Generally, they would be okay, but I would never do it without the permission of a physician. Pregnancy, we just blanket say no. Lupus, which is a collagen-based disorder, and it can vary. So your client may be in the first stages of lupus or different stage, and the doctor may say, that's perfectly fine. But at certain stages, they may say no because of the healing time that may need to go into it. If you have Accutane users, you don't want them to have treatment for at least 6 months after they're off of it, but check with the doctor, because some doctors will actually say a year before any type of treatments like that. Now, we're really talking about flat hyperpigmentation today. So that melasma is a definite no-no. Do not use this machine on a client with melasma, even if it's for capillaries on the nose. Do not use it on the face. I know some people say that they do and don't have issue, but once you have one issue with a melasma client, whether you're trying to treat a brown spot that's not in the swath, or say a broken capillary, you're going to be upset to see that client have a dark mark for many months. It will go away and revert back to where it was, but you won't help the client at all. So that's why it's even in bright red in our manual. You never want to treat moles, even moles on the hand, any irregularity with a blood supply. So today we're just treating the flat hyperpigmentation, and generally we say nothing larger than the size of an eraser head. Now, you'll see some pictures where people do treat something larger. Well, they got lucky that the client didn't pick it, because once they start picking, that's where you can get into trouble. Not saying it can't treat something that large, but if you want to be cautious and treat it in stages, that will be a better fit and a better way to go. Keratosis can be very large, and we can treat it all at one time. That's different than flat hyperpigmentation. And if you think there's anything more of a contraindication, drop it in the comment. Let me know what you think or what you do. How do we get the training and machine, Andrea? Okay, so Andrea, I'll talk about that in just a minute, because actually in honor of the NASN Pro event this next weekend, anyone that is a NASM Pro member, and it's free to join. You don't have to be at the event, but I will have my no interest payment plan. I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes, Andrea. Thanks for that question. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I want to show you a few before and after photos. Now, if you're in our group, you'll see a lot of before and after photos. Sometimes the lighting is different. Everybody is not a professional photographer, but I will tell you that when you do see these pictures, these are the real deal. The lighting may be a little different. Now, Teresa, she's an awesome Skin Classic provider and a permanent makeup artist. She's the bomb. And this was her husband. She did this even before I went to train her. She had watched the videos, figured it out, and traded her husband. And look at that beautiful hand. He had some flat hyperpigmentation and some keratosis. So, you know, people do get the keratosis on their hands as well. Out here in the Southwest, I'm sure if I was in practice here, I would be banking serious money with all of the sun damage out here. And this is a great before and after photo where just even one spot, but of course a couple were treated too, but that major brown spot is such a difference. And this provider of the Skin Classic treated her husband and he had a great result. So this is what you can expect with flat hyperpigmentation. And if it's taken care of correctly, the client will heal quicker than you might think. But we'll talk about the aftercare because it is a little tricky, as easy as this procedure is to do. So we got a repeat of a picture there. But Cheryl Ann up in New York, she's one of our awesome Skin Classic trainers and providers. Look at that beautiful before and after photo of those brown spots. And I love the fact that this client had those rings on because, you know, sometimes people say, oh, I don't know if they're the same hands or whatever, you know, they get a little uppity. Well, you can see this is the real deal. This was one treatment Cheryl Ann did, and she is terrific. She just did a training for us this past week. Thank you, Cheryl Ann. So the probes that we typically use for the Skin Classic and flat hyperpigmentation are the F12. So let me just see who's here. Oh my gosh, thanks everybody. I love seeing everybody. And yeah, Jen Marie, yay for NASN Pro. I can't wait to see everybody. I'll be flying out of Tucson into Florida, and then I'll be flying right out to Montana to do a training in Billings. So I'm going from total extremes, the nice warm weather to the cold weather. But back to the probes. So the probe of choice is typically an F12. An F12 is a nice stiff probe that will deliver the current, and you'll see how we treat these exactly. And today I have a couple tiny brown spots. So I'm going to elect to use our F6, which is half the size of the 12. Now you get 50 of these in a pack. And if you think of the price of hands, let's talk about it a little bit. I'll go through as we see more before and afters and put a price tag on them for you so that you can understand how to charge your client. Now, I don't charge by time. I know a lot of people do, but I don't feel like that is a good use of my time. I like to do, say, a hand treatment for somebody. I'll do a hand treatment and I'll give them a price tag for the hand treatment. Whether it takes me 4 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give them the price for that hand. And the clients understand that as well based on the amount. So typically, prices like this, $25 per irregularity, per brown spot. Now, we're talking that this is pretty much permanent. You might need a little cleanup on aisle 2 every once in a while, but it's typically, you see the results, you've seen the pictures, you can see how well it works, so it's worth it. Our clients don't mind writing that check, throwing a credit card at our face. They don't care because they want it gone. So it's what are they willing to pay to have that done? We certainly don't gouge our clients. Our prices are very reasonable. I charge anywhere from $100 to $300 for hands. This way, my client, I let them know ahead of time. They can send me a selfie. I could look at them and give them a good estimate. And then I will say to my client, in a month to 6 weeks, I would like to see you back in the office. And if there's anything that remains brown, I'll go ahead and treat that for a flat fee of $25, whether it's one little brown spot that needed it or three or four. It's only going to take me a few seconds. It's going to take me the probe, which is $1. So people, the treatment cost is low to you. And so you don't have to gouge your clients for the price tag. And I know there are other markets out there, bigger markets like San Francisco, like New York City. I know Tiffany was on just a little bit ago. She probably charges at least 300, maybe 450, because that's what is the going rate in bigger markets. So that's what you can expect out of a pack of F12s or F6s. There's 50 of them. You're going to make well over $5,000 with each pack of probes. So it's a quick investment for your consumables. Let me go ahead. And again, if you have any questions, feel free. Now, we do treat, we're really talking today about the hands, but what I wanted you to also see was the treatment itself. So this was done during a Skin Classic training. I had the honor of co-training with Stacey Denny a few years back. She's an awesome Skin Classic provider and trainer. So this was our trainee at the time, and you'll see how precise this treatment is. And it's something that we don't drag over the skin. I don't like to scratch the skin because the entire spot will get treated. What we like to do is treat it point by point by point. And when you do it in a grid fashion, you spare a little of the other epidermis right around it. So it heals quicker and just is a little bit more comfortable too. So let me play this video and let you see how well and easy this is to treat. See, we tap in a nice methodical fashion. Actually, she could have stretched just a bit more because we don't really like to see the indentation of the skin. That means that we're probably giving it a little bit too much pressure. If you deliver too much pressure, the client may take a little bit longer to heal. Really no harm, no foul, but we like our clients to heal up quicker so that we can get those referrals a lot quicker. So you can see this was about the biggest size of a flat hyperpigmentation that you should do. And you can see how she is being very methodical. I love the fact that you can see this really well. And again, I'm going to move this along because you can get this slideshow just simply by popping in the comments hands, and we'll get this to you so you can look at it a little later. Now, the reason I have this video here, I'll talk over it a little bit, hopefully you can hear me, is because I want to let you see how fast it is to treat someone's hands. Now, this was my client a few years back, and you'll see her after picture, but you can see how I pull the skin very tight. The hands are very uncomfortable. So I don't want to lie to you. You might think that, might not be that uncomfortable, but they are because the skin is thin. There's way more nerve endings in the hand, but you can see how quickly I'm going along. And I don't know if I cut out the voice on this one, but we were chatting the whole time and she was fine. It is a stingle though.
That's why these will take much longer than anything that we would do on your face. Now, your décolleté took a little bit of time as well.
Oh, okay. So you can hear the voice. So we were just talking, but so I'm managing to stretch really well, tapping in a methodical fashion, and it's a quick tap. A flat hyperpigmentation is quick. It's like tap, 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 tap. Keratosis that is thicker is going to be more tap, tap, tap. You need to deliver more energy into a thick keratosis, right? But the flat hyperpigmentation,
Yes, so you don't
Don't
want to
take
go
a
in
holiday on a brown
superficially. They
spot.
would look
Make
like
sure
they were
you keep it
infected. It was
moving.
just
Tap,
the
tap, tap, tap,
crust
tap in a
becoming
methodical fashion. And you and your
soggy. Like
client
you
will
had
be
a
very happy.
brush
You can
burn and
see
went
how
into a hot
fast
tub.
this treatment is for this client that I did. Each
And when you come out,
hand
it would
took
be
approximately
Yeah, this
3
is
minutes.
that
Might have
cookie
been under
color.
3
So
minutes, but 3 minutes. So for that 6 minutes of my time and a $300 price tag, that is a good win for you, your client, and the Skin Classic.
Oh yeah. Mike night.
So, and I do treat her in the later in here, but let me just get to the end so that you can see her before and afters.
hands too.
Mhm.
And
I
get
think I
get a
have them
nice
here.
tinted one,
Mhm.
and then it really smooths them up nice.
Well, I guess her after picture is somewhere else. But I'll find it for you guys. And okay, great. Hey, Faith, how are you? Ray, okie dokie. Let me move along. And again, if you guys, I'm checking the, oh, Tiffany, you charge $200 for 15 minutes. That sounds pretty good. The only reason and another reason why I don't like time is this. Say, they came in for their hands, right? And you said, okay, well, it's probably going to take me about 15 minutes and I'm going to charge you $200. Yeah. But then say it only takes you 8 minutes and they're looking at the clock and then they say, oh, besides that, I have a couple little skin tags here. Are we still within time? Can you go ahead and treat these too? So that gets into a sticky situation. I think if you are trying to, charge appropriately, because I charge by the job. If they have a big neck of skin tags, I'm going to charge them for that. And then if they say, oh, by the way, I have all these cherry angiomas on my tummy. Could you take a look? I'll say, of course I can. And that will be an additional, say, $100. Is that okay for you? This way, they're not looking at the clock and timing it. But if it works for you, that's terrific, because pricing for these treatments can sometimes get people stuck in quicksand, but it's not that hard. $25 per irregularity, or you're going to bundle it for a treatment between $100 to $300. She's a $300 client right there, those hands, and they are beautiful. I will make sure you get those. Well, it's in the group too, so we'll see there. Let me move on. Oh, here they are. This is that nice lady I did. So you can see that she does really need a little cleanup on aisle 2, and I did do that for her. But this was her after picture, and I think it was a very good improvement. Wasn't perfection, but I went ahead and did treat the other brown spots that were more prevalent. Most of them she didn't even care about, but the couple of those darker ones towards the instep of the hand I did take care of. So let's talk about the aftercare. And I know we have a lot of providers here, and I have a lot of people that are looking at this as a treatment in their treatment rooms. So aftercare, no matter what procedure you're doing, is super duper important. And if you do not select the correct client, you are going to be in trouble. We want to always make sure that the client we're working with is not a picker, will adhere to these instructions implicitly. So if they don't, I'm going to show you a few things that can happen. Megan wanted to know, do cherry angiomas bleed sometime? I know it's off subject, no problem, but they shouldn't bleed unless, of course, you entered the skin. We're only treating these on the very epidermis. So an F12 is very blunt and generally will not, you couldn't really puncture the skin with it. If you were using an F6, which is more filament, yes, that could slide in. So you want to be super careful. So they should not bleed. Now, aftercare, if the client hits it, gets it too wet, they could, like anything else. And let me get to this right now, the aftercare. Okay, so when you have a client in your chair, before you do the treatment and get that consent signed, you make sure you sit there with the piece of paper and go through these steps with them. Don't just sling this over to them and let them shove it in their purse and go on their merry way. You want to tell them. You want to make sure you let them know how important it is. And you're going to wash gentle with fingertips, pat dry. No terry cloth, and this is all until all of those crusts are gone. So you're going to use moisturizing SPF every day for the rest of your life, but at least for this healing time and after the crusts are gone, because the skin will still be a little pink. You want to wash at the vanity, pat dry when we're doing the face. When we're doing the hands, you want to wash quickly, pat dry. You're not going to linger in the shower. You're not going to wash dishes. You're not even going to wear gloves. So if you're an esthetician that are going to treat yourself, say, you're going to have to be glove free for a while because the sweatiness is wet. So we don't want your hands to get wet. And the crust will be there 5 to 7 to 10 to 14 days. Now with hands, I say 14 days. If they get a little less, that's great. And sometimes they might be even just a little bit more. If their skin's not in great shape, they don't take care of it, don't moisturize it, it will take longer to heal. No harsh products on the skin while the crust is there, no picking, no scratching, and no other procedures in that area for 30 days, unless, of course, it could be something like microcurrent, which is totally non-invasive to that. It won't hurt the skin at all. But most of the procedures that we do, like peels, microdermabrasion, all those things, we don't want to do that until they're completely healed. And that just brings me to another thing. Once the hands are completely healed and they look great, take that client and start performing microdermabrasion, microneedling, peels, whatever it is. Do that on top of what you've already done, and you will put that icing on the cake for them. And it teaches them to take better care of their hands, increases your procedure time, which ups the ante for your menu. And make sure, let me just make sure, I think we got everything on there. So ultra important, go over it with your client verbally, hand it to them so they can review it when they get home. This way, there won't be any questions. And also in our before and after book, we like to go ahead and show clients before, during, and after. So before, during, and after are super important because clients may not expect those brown spots to look much darker after you treat them, but they will. Look how much darker it is while that light crust is setting up and that hyperpigmentation is at the surface. So you must let them know. Otherwise, you might get an angry client calling and saying, oh my gosh, it looks like somebody put cigarettes out on my hands. Now, cryotherapy definitely makes the brown spots look larger because even the smallest cryo pens, I have a cryo pen, but I don't like to treat my flat hyperpigmentation with it because it spreads out. So when it spreads out, it's more of a bullseye. You could see how precise the handpiece was with that probe. So with that in mind, you're going to have a more precise, not over the border of the brown spot. Oh, good. Okay, great, great, great. So let me move along. And if there are questions, hey, Jill from Ohio, thanks for watching. And okay, so I want to show you, this is what can happen when a client deceives you. And this nice gentleman had his brown spots treated by one of our awesome Skin Classic trainers and providers. And yes, he had a lot of spots, but we treat a lot of spots if we have the correct client. He assured her that he could keep his hands dry and didn't have to work in the construction field as he was the boss. But he lied, and he was wearing gloves, getting sweaty like construction gloves, and got very nervous and sent her these pictures. Well, anyone getting a picture like this might be upset too, like, oh my gosh. Well, I don't get upset because I know exactly what happened. And sometimes the clients will say, oh my gosh, I have to go to the dermatologist. I have to go to the doctor. No, they don't. The reason they get yellow, you could see those yellow spots in there. They're not infected. Now, you could get an infection if you really are playing in the dirt kind of a thing, but this is different. This is from, say, going into a hot tub with your hands being recently done, standing in the lake and letting your hands dangle in the water. So when a brush burn or this light crust gets wet, it will turn yellow and people think infection. That's not true. All they need to do is simply keep them dry now, wash, pat dry, and moisturizing sunblock. That's it. Keep them dry. They will heal. But nobody likes to see this. So you want to make sure you select the correct client, go over that aftercare, give them the consent form, show them before and after photos. You can see that his hands started to look much better once the crust stopped being so wet looking. And so this was him at the end. So you can see that the spots really did go away. He was eventually happy, but we don't like that to happen. So make sure that you just don't jump on every single client that has brown spots. Take into consideration their lifestyle. Are they going to listen to you? All of those things. Remember last week, I taught you how to say no. I've said no to people for their hands. I hate to do it, but I do it. And then I feel much better because they really don't help you. So this slide here, for those of you that are new in the world, I've had so many new requests this past week for information and all that good stuff. Go ahead and join our group on Facebook, Thermolysis Skincare for Estheticians. It is an awesome group, and it's for Skin Classic providers and Skin Classic provider wannabes that want to learn more. And you will see that our community is super helpful. Besides myself, I have such a great group of Skin Classic trainers and providers. People that have been working with this technology for years will answer questions. Maybe you were looking into aftercare, what works best for them. The aftercare, I'll go over it again, wash gentle with fingertips, pat dry, and moisturizing sunblock. That's really all you need to use. If you want to use something more, you certainly can. Whatever serum that you're using in the office, you may want to have your client use at home. So sometimes we talk about those things in the group, but it's always on topic. It's usually nothing else in the group, so you won't get bombarded with salesy weirdo stuff and all that. So it's a great group. Go ahead and join it. Find it on Facebook, and you'll get this. How long before they can wash their hands? Well, Tiffany, they can wash their hands at night. So they want to wash, right? Because you have to keep the skin clean, but pat dry and moisturize, and that's it. You don't want to linger in the water. So you have to wash, pat dry, moisturizing sunblock. They're not going to go without washing their hands. So they must do that. No chemicals, acids, lasers, right? No recent tan or burn, right? Yes, anytime the skin is not in great condition, that's not good. Now, if they're just tanned, you could do it. It's not like a laser. However, when the crust sloughs off, it may look maybe just a little bit like hypopigmentation, but it's not. It's just that there's a contrast between the tan and under the crust. So just note that too as well to your client in case they get a little worried. Okay, so again, another good before and after. So you know that he would definitely be someone that you would charge at least $300. And here's a great before and after of a client that had both hyperpigmentation and keratosis. So you will see keratosis in your clients on their hands. And this one came into our group, and I didn't post the question. I should have, but you can see the keratosis on the index finger. It took a little longer for it to heal, and she was a little concerned. And it might just be because of the overuse of that area. But eventually, look, it all turned out fine. But we do get questions. So you're going to have somebody that will be able to answer those. Look at this beautiful, beautiful result from Emily in Georgia. She did a beautiful job on this hands, and you can see that it's not that big a job, right? There were probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 12 or 13 little brown spots. So if you had 10 brown spots, that would be $250, right? So I might bundle this procedure for my client at $200. You can only imagine it's not going to take you a long time. The thrill the client will get out of getting the brown spots treated on their hands, and again, put icing on the cake by adding other procedures onto the hands to keep them looking nice. And this is what I mean about our group. Our group is super great. Now, one of our members was concerned that her client still had some pink spots from treating the brown. Now, the hands take a long time to heal. Some clients may take a little longer. And as providers out there, you know, some clients heal fast and it's so great. And then the ones that heal slow, they're constantly messaging you, contacting you, sending you pictures, putting you at ease. So, the group is a great place where you can post your concern, and you will see that people will say, it's longer to heal due to washing hands. She better be using SPF. So, there's different advice you're going to get from myself, the providers, and our trainers. So you're always in good company and supported with your device. So I know a couple people just messaged me too. They want to know about the Skin Classic and how to purchase it. So if you want the Skin Classic and the no interest payment plan, I will send you a link. In the comments, please comment DEAL, DEAL. I will get you that link. And this is the link. The Skin Classic is $49.75, but during this time, up until the day after NASM Pro, which is the 24th, you will be able to get your Skin Classic with a no interest payment plan. $1,500 down and then $193 for 18 months. We do that via PayPal auto pay. So if that interests you and you would like to get started, that's how you can do that. In the comments, DEAL. I will get you that link, and you will get one-on-one training in your facility by one of our awesome Skin Classic trainers. You'll start thinking about 4 to 5 models that you want to bring in. They have to have good stuff. They have to have stuff like you see in these pictures. You can't bring in your beautiful girlfriend because she won't have anything. You want nice older folks, people that are going to keep your hands busy during the training, because models will make or break your training. So this comes with it, as well as the Derm Light. I always have my Derm Light handy. I didn't use it today only because I know my little brown spot is a brown spot. And so you could get this very easily. I'm also going to have the Illuminate LED panel, and that panel is $1,800, but you'll be able to do a down payment of $500 with a payment plan of $100 for 13 months. So if you want that as well, just private message me, let me know. Let me see where my... Oh, okay. Well, that was it. That's what I was. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I don't know how I missed this one, but this client was concerned about the knuckle where she treated, but it's all better now. But these are the kinds of questions you might have if you treat something large or a bigger job, and maybe you weren't prepared to have the client send you this photo. You get a little nervous. But if you go through our group, you'll see lots of these photos, and then you'll see how they heal up. And sometimes the clients will say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I worried you, because I just love my hands now, all of that good stuff. So, and you'll see other people. Same thing happened to me with a client. It will take a long time to heal. But different areas may take a little bit longer. If you're looking at a knuckle and you treated something over here, just the sheer movement of it may inhibit the quicker healing. So there's things like that we really need to look at. And I just want to make sure. Yep. So all of the slides are over. So what I'm going to do, hey Rima, is there a red behind the pigment? That would be melasma. Well, Chelsea, not on the hands. So if you're talking about the face, if you look at melasma with our derm light, you will see it's actually red under the skin and not as brown as you would possibly think. But definitely something that in the hands, it wouldn't matter if they have it in the face, because it's not connected as far as I know. And I've treated melasma clients' hands, but not their face. So let's see. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to pop the slideshow off, because I'm going to treat a couple little spots on my hands. So I only have a couple of them, but I just wanted to let you see it in action. And if you have any questions, I can watch while I'm doing it. Now, you saw that I pre-treated, right? So why don't we just go ahead, and I'm going to give a set of these away, and I'm going to scroll, and I'm going to pick. How is the Illuminate used with the Skin Classic? Oh, the Illuminate you will want to use on every single client, no matter what it is. So I use the Illuminate on my clients for 5 minutes. That's the best part about it. It's only a 5-minute treatment, so time is money, and it's only 5 minutes, so I can add it on to all of my clients. It helps the healing process start. So, and a lot of you have different LEDs in the office, and that's great. That's what you want to use after a treatment. Not infrared so much, but definitely the 660 and near that wavelength for the cosmetic portion of it, and it will help to heal it. And then what that does is, why I'm using that on them, I will talk about my home device, which I use Omnilux, so that if they want to extend the LED benefits, they can purchase an at-home device. So that's very, very helpful for me. So that was a great question. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, so I have, let me go ahead. I want to pick a winner. So this one I'm going to be picking. And what I'll ask you to do is, whoever wins, private message me your name and address, so that my trusty assistant, Jackie, can get these shipped to you. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll up, scroll down, and I am at Emilia DiRato. Awesome, Emilia. So go ahead, drop me that comment. And actually, I will probably give one more set away after I've done my treatment. So if you saw me pre-treat my hand, I pre-treated with my exfoliating wand. And if you're in the office, you can pre-treat your client with microdermabrasion. And why do I say even pre-treat it? You don't have to, but guess what? If your client has never had a microdermabrasion or anything like this, you're introducing them to a procedure at no extra charge. And then they may say, I really love the way that made my skin look and all. So you're going to add a procedure. It's a great little practice management tool by pre-treating your client with something that you love in the office. So I've set my probe in, and I actually I put in an F6 because my spots are so small. So it's subjective to a degree. You can, let me get rid of that comment. You can, okay. So I have my F6 in here. It's pretty flimsy. And oh, okay. And just because I saw it again, see that spot on my face? I hate that spot on my face. I've treated it with the Skin Classic and it doesn't go away. So flat hyperpigmentation needs to be brown spots. This might look brown to your eye from there, but with the Derm Light, it sure is red. Most spots on the hands are brown, the brown ones that you looked at. If somebody has pink spots on their hands, you're not going to treat them. Don't even entertain that. You only want to treat brown spots. So I have my F6 in here, and I'm going to set my machine on 20. And you can hear the beeps. I'm going to step on my foot pedal. There we go. And I don't have any gloves. Not with me right now. I will at NASM Pro, though. We'll be doing demos all day, and I go through a box of gloves like that, treating everybody. So I'm hoping you guys are going to dash over and get your treatment. So this is going to be super hard to see because I have a couple little spots. So I'll treat. So maybe you can see, and then I have to see it too. Let me see here. I'm a mess. Okay, so here we go. And I've got one right here. So I am going to tap it. Let me get over here. Well, it does sting a bit. Okay, and that will crust up a little bit darker during the week. Okay, so, and I do have one right there that I'm going to try to treat left-handed. And this part of the hand hurts a little bit more, but here, not so bad. Let me see if I can do this right without, so that you can see. Oh, gosh. Let me get rid of that blue thing there. Okay, that might help a little bit. Okay, it's going to be hard to see this one. This is tiny, but tap, 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 tap. Yeah, these are just a couple tiny ones here. So, oh, here's the one I want to treat. And it's a little hard for me to stretch that skin, but I'll do it this way. There we are. Darn it. I'll figure this all out one day so that you can see that treatment. But we did see plenty of video. And so if you have a Skin Classic and you're doing your own hands, it's a real easy thing to do. So make sure that you give yourself those treatments. So, okay, I'm going to give away one more of the sets of these micro tips that I have. And I love these. You know, if you're doing microderm, you can just hang it on your machine. So if you're doing a microdermabrasion and your client has some broken capillaries that maybe you don't want to go over, or for whatever reason, you can easily just lightly exfoliate. But people really need that exfoliation prior to some procedures. So if you do want to do it without suction, these make a great tool. So let's go ahead. I'm going to scroll and I stopped. And it's Susan Sorensen. Well, thanks. Oh, and that's perfect. That was a great thank you for sharing your wisdom with Kim yesterday and Audrey. That was awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me get Yay, Susan. So Susan's an awesome provider up in New Hampshire. In case anybody's up there and needs a treatment, she's your gal. So, okay, guys, if there aren't any questions, I will let you all go. Thank you so much for watching this week. I'll see you next week right here in Cactus territory in Arizona. So, and I hope to see you at NASN Pro if you are there. And if you want the slideshow, make sure you get the word hands in there, and we'll go ahead and get you all of that information. You'll get the marketing video for your clients. What is that tip and where can we purchase? Oh, in my store. And I will, if anybody is interested in these tips, put a comment in there, tips, and I will get you the link to those. And you'll really like those. They're very heavy duty, and you take care of them just like your normal microdermabrasion tips, implements, things like that. So, okay, guys, thanks so much. I will. You're interested. Okay, great. Jana, that's awesome. And Mimi, tips. Okay, people are interested in the tips. That's awesome. And remember, if you wanted the no interest payment plan for the Skin Classic, in the comments, just let me know with the word deal, and I will get you that link. We ship pretty much immediately, get you connected with one of our awesome Skin Classic trainers, and you will soon be providing these treatments yourself in the treatment room and be part of our community. So very exciting. Yes. Oh, thanks, Mimi. That's awesome. I appreciate you. And I guess I should go now. But thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week right here or actually, I'll be in Montana next week. I'm doing an awesome training there. So I'm not sure of the time frame, but I will be coming to you probably in the evening. Looking forward to seeing you, and I'll see you at NASM Pro next Sunday. Bye.